What is this new show you're doing called The Ruined?
Yeah, it's this new comedy show I'm doing all about how you ruined my childhood.
Ma, we ruined your childhood. What, so you're gonna make fun of us for the whole show?
No, probably for like 30 minutes, and then I'm going to do some physical comedy bits, and then I'm going to do some comedy that's probably going to offend some people.
And it's called The Ruined.
Yeah, ruined. It's going to be September 30th to October 4th.
That is award-winning comedian Daniel Stolfi, who's bringing his videos to life on stage with his 5th solo comedy. Yes, you heard the title there, Ruined. It's a special. It's a high-octane mix of storytelling, stand-up, and physical talk comedy about his Italian immigrant parents who ruined his childhood. Daniel is here live this morning, fresh from the first night of performances of Ruined. How did it go last night, Daniel?
It went really well.
Yeah.
You know, it went really well. It's always one of those things when, you know, you're building up to do a show and you really have no idea how it's going to go until you get that first night out of the way. And Tuesday night was great.
So does that mean the jitters are kind of out of the way? And
The
you're just ready
jitters are a little more out of the way,
yeah.
and I can play a little.
So let's talk about this, because I think your story really resonates, your experience resonates with so many people in this sort of multicultural city that we call Toronto. Everyone, a lot of us have immigrant parents, immigrant families, etc. Tell us about a couple of examples that came to your mind that you thought, this is going to go so well in an act that you lived through as a child.
Well, I mean, just growing up in, you know, with immigrant parents, it's just a different experience, I think, for everybody, but there's these similarities that come along with it. And I don't know, I just got inspired to do it because my dad made a wedding speech 12 years ago at our wedding. Yeah. And it was all about how he ruined our childhood. It was inspired from this kind of thing. And I never really thought about it after that, but he really tore the house down. You know, everybody was with this stuff. And my wife and I were kind of like, oh, you know what? You should really try to turn this into a concept, into a show, into, you know, and really and bring it to life. So that's what I did. I just started telling these stories about all these moments from my childhood and how my immigrant parents ruined it.
Now, despite the fact that you're a comedian, you seem like a fairly well-adjusted person. You know, we often think that comedians may not be. But did you, in the time you were growing up, Daniel, did you think they're ruining my childhood, or did you think I'm having a good child? Like, is it more looking back, or is it more like in the moment you do, like, oh my gosh, this was awful?
No. I mean, I had a great childhood. There was no issues there. But it was just so funny. You know, I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest of like my immediate family, but I also have like 40 first cousins, and I'm the third youngest of all of them. So I'm watching this crazy show from this perspective of like, this is my life. Like, this is wild. Yeah. And anybody that I tell these kind of stories to, they're always just like, you have a wild stories from your dad, from your aunts and uncles, from your entire family. So, and anytime I share those stories with people, they're just like, that's crazy, or they relate to it in a certain way. So.
I remember, you know, having friends over for dinner, and I was born in England. Obviously, my entire family is English, and you know, sort of apologizing to my friends because there was a knife and fork on the table. Most Canadians sort of eat with a fork, it seemed, and so they didn't know what to do with the fork. And then there was a spoon to the right, or sorry, there was a spoon to the right of the knife, and then the knife and fork, and a napkin and water, and sort of like please and thank you, and crossing your, you know, putting your utensils down. I remember, and my parents tell that story to this day about me apologizing about them.
Manners.
Manners, effectively. Yeah, exactly. Do you have like a moment that sticks out to you that you were like, I don't know how I'm going to come back from this? Not that I was that ashamed, but it just, you know.
Well, when I was 5 years old, I wanted to learn how to skate so I could become one of the greatest Canadian hockey players to ever play the game.
And here you are.
You know, and here I am. My dad, for Christmas, got me white training skates, okay? So back in 1987, which was when this happened, you know, that meant girls figure skates.
Exactly.
And black skates were boys hockey skates. It's just the way it was. And I got made fun of going out there trying to skate for the first time. And I still can't skate to this day.
Really?
So that's how they ruined, you know.
Hockey and skating wasn't part of my life either, right? It was sort of like, you know, again, coming from England, there's not a lot of hockey or ice skating there. It's getting a little more now. But it's just kind of, and so that's what I think is interesting, is that commonality. And you know, I'm sure your crowd is very diverse as well here. Do you get sort of certain laughs from certain parts of the crowd, or do you feel like everyone is kind of laughing in unison?
You get certain laughs from certain parts of the crowd, but at the same time, after the show, when people are talking to me, they're like, you know, the relatability, even though they're not from an Italian background, it's across the board kind of thing. There's relatability for anybody's story when it's coming from truth, right?
Yeah, so, especially people love accents and listening to accents, right? It's sort of like, no matter what it is, say this, say that. You know?
For sure.
So you actually get to interact with your crowd after your show? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so, you know, after the show, it's a small space. It's a very intimate space. So get your tickets, okay? So I think there's only about 15 tickets left per show. Saturday's already sold sold out. But, it gives me an opportunity to, talk to the audience afterwards, right? And just kind of meet in a little bar that's out there and have a discussion about everything. So, it
sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Hey, Daniel, good to meet you this morning. Good luck with the remaining shows. It runs through September the 4th here. So, Daniel Stolfi, appreciate this. Ruined is this show. He seems okay, though.